I need to know how to fix a dehumidifier fan.
Before you assume the silence is a broken fan, make sure the thing is actually on.
That's right, after making sure the AC is turned on instead of set to fan only, when you wonder why the house isn't cooling down. Yes, it is on.
If the thing was too noisy, my first thought is to check the reviews for how noisy that brand of dehumidifier is.
It used to work fine, so the noise level change is obvious.
If the fan is working harder and longer, the problem might not be the fan, but the refrigerant in the coil leaking out.
I know that would cause the fan to run longer because the unit has to run longer to get just as much water out of the air.
You'll also see it run longer until it shuts down due to overheating from running so long.
I would consider that a safety feature.
One way to see if this is the case is the error messages on the dehumidifier. If it tells you it shut down the fan due to an overheating motor.
The other is looking to see if there is ice on the coil as to why it is running so long.
Don't forget to check the air filter.
Why do so many people say check the air filter?
Because if that is clogged, the fan strains to generate the necessary airflow and the whole motor can overheat while the coil freezes from lack of airflow.
At least that issue I can tell by the color of the air filter.
If the thing is just noisier, but not seeing a degradation in performance, make sure nothing got stuck in the vents.
Yes, it has been in the basement. No, it isn't like the air intake of the furnace that Pulgen leaves.
That doesn't mean dust bunnies haven't been building up and started clogging the air intake and other vents, aside from what's collecting on the air filter.
Dusting the air vents is at least an easy solution. But that wouldn't affect the fan, because it moves so much.
You could still have a loose fan blade, or loose fan overall that needs to be tightened.
I thought the problem was the opposite.
If it is heating up as it runs and making a lot of noise, yes, you could probably fix it by adding lubricant, and make sure you spin the fan a couple times, to distribute the lubricant instead of just turning it on.
I know, so the fan can spin freely and evenly.
So you don't risk the fan overheating, because it can turn or rubs hard on some component, causing the lubricant to burn up.
A dehumidifier on fire is about as bad as a fridge on fire. But all I want is for it to work without making all this racket.
If it is just noisy, tightening the screws on the fan shaft may be enough.
And in my skill set.
Or you may need to replace a fan blade because it got bent.
I can't see how.
At least you can see that that is the case. Another possibility is the wires to the fan motor are loose and causing it to run on and off or run erratically.
If that isn't fixed by putting a wire harness back in place, it is fixed by getting a new dehumidifier so I don't risk an electrical fire.